Good morning, everybody. So today is an exciting day, actually. Today is day one of our funded accounts on LeeLoo. Originally I had 5 accounts that I was trying to pass. I passed 3 of them last week. I already passed 2 of them, uh, 2 out of the 5, but I'm waiting. I think today is my last day. But I've already passed and got funded on the other 3. So today I'm trading with 3 of the accounts, 2 of which are the Accelerator account, and one of them is the investor account. You can read more about it on the LeeLoo website. But essentially, what that means is that for 2 of the accounts, I have an incredibly tight stop. Um, I have a $625 stop. So if I hit $625 of loss, then I lose the accounts. And then on the other one, it's just this traditional trailing stop of 1,500. So I have a bit more wiggle room on that one, but I'm going to be trading all 3 of them the same way. Sierra Chart has this really neat feature where you can copy your trades across your accounts. And so whatever trade I take on one account is going to be copied onto the other 2 accounts. So today's day one. We're going to take it slow. We're going to analyze the markets. We're going to try to take good trades, not be greedy. Um, and yeah, we'll take it from there. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I'm going to be quiet for a little bit. I'm just going to be watching the market and analyzing as I go on with the day. So we had a bit of a sell-off in the morning. Right off the open, we had a sell-off. We made a new low. We came off that new low, and now we're trying to retest that low. It'll be interesting to see what the market does here. Um, just coming off the bat out of that perspective, we have been selling off overnight. So we keep that in mind. We also have been selling off since last Tuesday, actually. It's been quite an aggressive sell-off since last Tuesday. And now we are actually at the point of control of 2 Wednesdays ago. So Wednesday the 10th. Yeah, Wednesday the 10th. That was 2 weeks ago. It's the weekly point of control, the old weekly point of control. So we're testing that. There is some volume over there. Curious to see what markets do here. Also, bear with me, guys. I know the quality is not the best. I'm trying to figure out how to fix this. I think it has something to do with my ultra wide screen. It could be possible that because I have such a wide screen and I'm capturing the full Sierra chart on the screen, it's very possible that the resolution is not that great. Um, so I may have to switch monitors, switch screens, or I may have to do something with the resolution. But if that's ever a problem, you just let me know, guys, in the comments. If the resolution is an issue, if you guys have trouble seeing anything, and I'll make sure to fix that. So ES and Nasdaq seem to be following each other today. That's all right. That's a good sign. It's a good sign because at least there are no there's just no fuckeries that's going on. So again, I'm taking it very slow today. I don't need to force any trades. If I see an opportunity, I'll take it. So we had a major sell-off, quite a bit of absorption over here. And the reason why I say that there is absorption is because you had 217 contracts that were sold into the bid that got absorbed. And then you had a few hundred more contracts down here that were also sold into the bid. But in terms of volume, it's not significant enough to build volume. What you typically want to see, I want to take my pen here and I want to make sure that this freaking pen actually works this time, so I don't start drawing on it like a crazy person. Just give me 1 second. Let me pull this pen out. All right, so you guys cannot see the pen. All right, perfect. Now the pen's there. So again, I've mentioned this many times, but I'm always going to keep repeating it just in case somebody's new or just to remind everybody, is that when you get a major sell-off like this, what you want to see is you want to see volume build, and you want to see it build without really getting out of this range. So you want to see that build up of volume. This was nice to see, but you had way too many rotations in here, which means that the market didn't really know what to do with all of this, in the sense that when you want to see a continuation of a sell-off, you want to see this market come down, build volume, and you don't want to see, like I said, you don't want to see too many rotations, because these rotations generally mean that, so this is one big down bar, right? It's a down bar, and then as we reverse from the bottom of this bar, as we reverse 10 points or whatever setting you put, I have it 10 points as you can see up here. As it reverts this 10 points, then you create a new bar. And so why is this significant? It's significant because it shows you the interaction between buyers and sellers and who is in control at that moment. So when you have a major down bar and then you see that an up bar gets formed, which means that sellers gave away 10 points from the low, and then you have another attempt by sellers, right? Which is why you get this down bar. This is one more down bar, and then retesting that to create another up bar. And then this up bar was a strong up bar. It was a very strong move up, in the sense that we literally just undid everything that we created over here. And we did it very quickly, very quickly. And so this means that this sell-off is not that strong. So you need to be careful to try to fade any rally, right? So you don't want to be selling these rallies simply because this is not a very convincing move down. And when the market's been selling off since Tuesday, so when the market's been selling off for 3-4 days in a row, at some point you're gonna see people taking profits of their shorts. And when something's been selling off for days, how much more can it sell off, in the sense that how much more fuel do sellers have? So you need to keep that in mind. So the structure over here overnight is very interesting to me. I love consolidation structures because it tells me a lot about what's going on. Notice how in this structure, the midpoint of the structure was the resistance that started this move down. And then the bottom of the structure was the second point of resistance that started this move down. So based off of this and not based off of this, you can say that perhaps the market wants to go down further. And it all depends on what we end up doing down here. Because the market might want to do something, but it might not be successful in doing that, you know. ES and Nasdaq are pretty much in line with what they both want to do. So it'll be interesting to watch what one does. If one starts to do something that the other one's not doing, because then you can start to question whether one is right and one is wrong. So if Nasdaq starts making new lows, but you see the ES rallying, could this be a fake out? You know, or if Nasdaq starts making new lows, could the ES be lagging and you can short the ES? We're being patient here. We're not clicking. Sorry about that. I had a phone call. So there are a couple ways you can play this if you want to. Actually, if you see once you see this big range, you can obviously go short at the bottom of the range. Sorry, you can go long at the bottom of the range because I'm not confident playing this breakout just yet. In the sense that I'm not confident going market short at the bottom of this because as you can see, you can easily, the market can easily reverse against you. But everything points to being bearish. And trying to fade these kind of moves can be very, very dangerous, although you can get a lot of reward for the very little amount of risk, but the probability of it working out is quite low. So here's something interesting that I'm also seeing in regards to order flow, right? Let's just think of it that way. We broke this tight rotation up with aggressive buying, very aggressive buying. We built a lot of volume over here. Normally speaking, this is considered to be absorption, right? Because we went down, retested a little bit. We built a lot of volume here again. Notice that there's a lot of buying, aggressive buying, but also very passive buying. Yes, this is aggressive selling, but aggressive selling is also passive buying because you're hitting the bid. So you have a lot of limit orders over here, a lot of limit buy orders. So is this really absorption by sellers or is this absorption by buyers? I would argue that this is absorption more so by buyers. Because it's very interesting that we quickly broke this, which means that there wasn't enough interest to continue further down, right? And we sold contracts aggressively down here and we're selling contracts aggressively up here. Yet we're not able to make lows. So how much more aggressive selling do you think the market has? With that in mind, I want to be buying right now. And I want to wait for the opportunity to do so. I want to wait for the order flow. I want to wait for a sort of a pop if I can catch that pop. And I think if we break 33s, we can get that pop. If we fail to break 33s, we can come down very quickly. And it can get dangerous in the sense that you can be offside very, very early. I think maybe 18, 19 would be a good area to just go long. All right, I marked it in. I could be totally wrong here. I think if we break 15, it can get ugly, because if we break 15, I don't want us to retest 04s. I think I'll be very offside if that's the case. I want us to see us pick a bid over here and break 33s, reach 62s. I know we're at the low of the day, and I know it's generally not a good idea to buy at the low of the day, but based on the structure that we saw over here, I think it's a pretty good trade, because I'm hoping for something to happen and I'm expecting for something to happen. If this thing doesn't happen, then I know I'm wrong. See if we can pick up this bid here. I like this tapering, but I don't like this 320 contracts at 17s. No, I have to exit this trade right here. So we took a small loss there. I just want to see what happens right after now. I want to see if we end up breaking this. If we do end up breaking this, then it was a good exit. I think the trade idea was fine. It's also possible that we can just test 04s and go, but based on the amount of volume that we're building over here and the fact that we're building it in such a way that seems strength in selling to me, in the sense that you get this, you get one volume node is like a low volume node, you get a high volume node, a low volume node, a high volume node. So we can just build volume, and then we can just come off. Buyer absorption, are you saying over here? Like here? Or here? Oh my god, I figured this would happen. Take out the stops and then reverse back up. It's very, very possible we could do this. See if I could pick up a bid here. I'm wary, I don't want to chase this. Son of a gun. And I don't want to see this rotate back down, actually. Just what you want to see is you want to see a quick reversal and you want to see it pop back up. But once we don't get that pop up, your entry is no longer valid. You don't want to see this come down in the hopes that it can pick you up, because you can go offside right away. What you want to see is you want to mark it in, have it pop up. If it's not popping up and if it comes back down, then you run the risk of, again, making you lows, trapping buyers, and then continuing further down. So it's a good thing I pulled out of that trade. And I noticed that my first bid of the day was a buy. My second one was a buy as well, even though I didn't get filled on my second one. So I need to be aware mentally what I'm trying to do to the markets right here is that I'm trying to fade this market. And I need to be very careful. I need to stop thinking that we're going to catch the low. It might just be better to go with the trend today. Again, have to be aware of these types of things. Watch me bid my next trade. But no, there's a lot of volume down here that I don't really want to bid. But one thing that's catching my attention and catching my eye is that we still seem to be rallying after making a new low. So I wonder if once the market's done taking this liquidity, that will just reverse back up. Um, it's very, very possible that we can do this. So if I see a situation where we just plop down on low volume, I can bid in the hopes that we reverse very quickly. But if I continue to see this volume being built as we go lower, then I don't want to be buying right now. I don't think it's smart to try to catch the low. What I think is smart to do if you want to buy in this market, you want to see a change in dynamic, a change in structure that will tell you that now you have a lot of trapped shorts and then you can go long because you want to ride their coattails. So we got to exert discipline. We got to, exert patience. Let's not try to catch any falling knives. Let's play the market when the opportunities come out. So you see, there's a lot of absorption, but again, this absorption could mean nothing in the sense that, you know, once we're done taking the liquidity, we can just continue going further down to see if there's any more liquidity. I do like this line that's being formed. I think we can get a lot of opportunity once we break this. Can we go like here maybe? It's typically one of my favorite setups for breakouts because you get this one test, two test, three. The more we test this, the more aggressive the breakout to the upside. So there's a lot of potential opportunity that can come once we test this trend line. So I do like seeing this. I like seeing some volume being built, and I like seeing it taper off as we go lower. Right? That's a potential buy over here. You can literally buy down here, and then you can put your stop below the lows. I want to see this pop. If we don't pop, that's fine. I have a very tight stop. So this is the danger of fading a down market like this. Because the problem with fading a down market like this is you have so many buyers who are trying to catch this falling knife that once they go offside and once they see price reach their entry price, they start to sell because they want to scratch their trades. And so you get this choppiness, right? And I don't like this right now. Yeah. I think the idea was right. The stop was very, very tight. I think we're going to pop after this right here. You just feel it. You just feel that the market is going to curl up above this volume node, and we're going to take out every trapped short. We're going to go up maybe 30 points. Maybe not actually. I don't think this trend line is going to break that easily. Oh, these are just so annoying though. It's kind of this type of, we take a bit of liquidity, you know, we reverse, take a bit of liquidity, we reverse. These are hard to trade because you don't get that pop down that you want to see, you know? And it leaves late traders very, very vulnerable to a reversal, to a very aggressive reversal. Because with such a low ATR, you're not really getting much more, like a lot of bang for your buck. I think there's a decent amount of absorption over here at these levels for reversal back up. I'm watching this low volume node. I think if we go back above this low volume node, I think we can get a nice pop up, maybe 10, 15 points. Again, these are very low probability trades, low risk, high reward, but low probability as well, right? So you got to treat it that way. You cannot expect to enter here and then, hold, right? For it to come down and then reverse up, because you never know. It can go like this. So then you're stuck, trapped right here. If we take 78, 77 and then reverse, I think my stops might be a bit too tight. Massive contracts being absorbed. I just don't think there's a lot of willingness to sell, and I'm here trying to fade this freaking market. Let's go. Just want to try this one last time. Important not to be too stubborn. No, that's it. It's very tricky. My stops might be too tight. So now we don't have any willingness to trade over here, right? You got the 71 contracts. Very possibly we reverse from here. Very tight rotations here. Tight rotations seems to be the theme of the day. I think as we curl up above here, we're going to see another sell-off. But it's very tricky. I mean, you saw me buy 3 times the lows, get stopped, and now it's like you play with this hesitation to want to sell because you just feel like everything you're doing is wrong. you know. So you got to play it slow. We were rallying on low volume. Don't want to see us go above 94, 95. I think this has to get defended. The reason I say this has to get defended is because everybody who bought here and is still holding is going to want to start selling to get out because finally they get an opportunity to sell out. You have a lot of trapped buyers here as well. So limit orders are being bought up. They're being brought up over here, as you can tell by the amount of selling that's going on. That's being absorbed by buyers, bringing their limits up. But on a day like today, where we've just been selling off all day, I think it's clear that sellers are in clear control. So it doesn't really matter. So I think what you want to see is you want to see buying happening, and then these buyers realizing that the price is not going any higher, and so everybody's trapped, and then it continues to fall down. Because that's essentially what I was doing. I was buying at the lows, but I was getting stopped out very, very early. Right? If I hadn't gotten stopped out, I would have been holding my trades. I would have been sweating for 10, 20, 30 minutes. And then as price came back up to my order, to my entry, I would have been scratching. So as a buyer, I would have been selling at these levels. So in order to see a change in dynamic, what you want to see is you want to see a low being established, a retest of that low, and then a retest of this high. And then even a break of this high would be good. So I want to see us come back down just as quick as we try to make a new high. So that was a pretty good trade. I think it could have been a lot better, but my entry was spot on. I think I was only offside by maybe 2 or 3 points. So, and I was on side almost immediately. So that's a very, very good trade in my eyes. The exit was pretty good too. I think as soon as I exited, the market reversed back. The reason I exited that trade is because I saw a little bit of lagging that happened. I saw so one of the things I always like to see is volume being built as we go down. But when you get this volume that's being built and then there's no volume, and then you start to look at the ladder and you start to look at the order flow and you start to look at just a bit of a hesitation. The rotations are a bit weaker, you know. You typically get a reversal back up. Now here is interesting to see if we actually break this. So you could pretty much short that. You can go short over here if you want. But I don't think it's the best idea because you can see that there is just a slow volume zone. But it's still a good short because your risk is so tight, you know. So Nasdaq loves to retest. It just loves to, as you can see over here, it just loves to retest uh, rotations. So again, my biggest mistake today was I bought on a day where we haven't even made a single high. I was buying on a day where we haven't made a single high, and that's incredibly stupid is to say the word, stubborn is to say another word, right? But I did it in a way where I didn't expose myself to too much risk, right? Because you can get a massive move up on a day like today simply because of a lot of weak positioning. This is one area, another area, another area, and now you have all this area right here. So you could get, if any one of these is weak, you can get a massive move up, a massive unwinding, right? But the stupid thing about fading a move like today is that it's a clear down day, right? So why am I trying to be right? Why am I trying to force my trade onto the market instead of just following the trend? But what I did do right is that every low that I bought, I had a very tight stop and I wasn't stubborn to hold, you know? It's just very enticing to want to buy these lows sometimes because of the way that the market traps you. So if you curl above 70, I think this will reverse back up. Simply because of this poor structure down here with low volume. This could be the end of the downtrend. This could be the end of the downtrend. The last 50% retracement that we had was here at 955 at 1350, and we never got another 50% retracement since then. We never got another 50% retracement. So the way I'm thinking right now is this was the trade right here, 1350. That was the first 50% retracement that you got, and that 50% retracement meant you were automatically on side, and you could have rode this whole wave down without having to worry, right? And then everybody who was waiting patiently to go short is now waiting for the next 50% retracement, which is around 1325. But I don't think this 1325 is actually going to hold. If we do reach 1325, you might get a bounce because of a self-fulfilling prophecy where everybody's looking at this. You might get a small bounce, but I think these guys are going to get trapped, and I think we're gonna break higher. That's one scenario that could happen, and I think it's a very plausible scenario. Because technically speaking, unless the POC shifts down, I don't think we can make new lows. But I could be totally wrong. I mean, I could be 110% wrong here. But these rotations look pretty nice. Made a low, big up bar, higher than the previous rotation. And now I think 74 should hold. It would be good for 74 to hold. If 74 holds and we break this previous rotation and get a new bar, then that's a good sign. I think people are shorting here, and I think people are going to get trapped. Down, come on. I want to play this breakout, but I want to play this tight breakout. I don't want to be a sucker and get trapped. Although I think I could end up being the sucker here. Let's go 10 points. ES is doing the same thing. 38% is over here, 1313. So I think this would be a good target to exit your trade. But this 90s have to break. 90s are being defended heavily, and this has to break. So 79 might be a bit too eager. 78, 77 would be very, very tight, but I think it's fine. You don't want to see this break 78, 79. It's actually, I might be nitpicking price over here. If I wasn't trading my funded account, I would probably put the stop way down here, but I don't want to risk it. I just don't want to risk it. I don't have much room, so these have to be incredibly tight stops, and they have to be very accurate entries. So I just don't want to risk it. I'm very wary that we trap 90, we get up to 92, 93, and then come right back down. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see this. I want to see volume build. I want to see this pop, build volume, pop again. But that's, see, we're building volume though, you know, 480, 330, 320, 255, 220, 300. I like seeing this. I do like seeing this. I like seeing a bit of a taper and then more interest, a taper, more interest, and then we go higher and higher. So a lot of these guys are trapped. We just broke this trend line, and this is a very good trend line to break. We didn't, we broke it, we tested it, we broke, you know, we continued higher. I think 1310 is a good area to get out. I don't want to see this come back down. I want this trade to be risk-free. So the 1300s can be heavily defended in the sense that we can actually see this come off back to my price and go back up. And if that happens, then that happens. It is what it is. Okay, 95 was the last rotation in the sense that you saw that we got rejected off 13,000, went down to 995. we bounced off 95, right? So I don't want I don't want to see come below 95. There you go. There you go. Let's go. 1310, I can take one off. I can take one off at 1310 and I can leave the rest to maybe 1320 VWAP perhaps. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Fuck me. All right. Put a trailing stop here because you know you don't want 95s to break. But this is also very, very good. I like seeing this. I like seeing volume build as we go higher. But let's not forget that we're still in a downtrend. We're in a down day, right? But the good news is that we have gotten. So this is good to see is that we left these guys in a dust, right? Maybe not totally because we're still not out of the woods yet. But a lot of this volume here is not good for sellers. Now we're struggling around this volume node. So if we leave these guys in the dust and we go here, I think it's a very good sign because I think that these guys are going to feel trapped and they might want to get out of their trades the moment they can. All right, so I got stopped out at 95. That was the last bounce. Maybe we go off 95 and we continue higher from here, but maybe we don't, and so I don't want to risk that. Again, I'm trying to play very accurate entries and exits. It was also good that I took profit where I took profit because we didn't even test 1310. So 90 could be a pretty good area to buy, but it's not the best area to buy. I think 90 can be good to buy for it to continue up, but I think also because it's a down day, 90 can easily break test 78 as well. So 78 would be the better place to buy. If we do think that this is the low of the day, then 78 would be a better place to buy. But knowing Nasdaq though, and I'll be honest with you, I know it's annoying that I have 1,000 different scenarios, but that's what trading is that we can break 90, bounce a bit off of 70, 75s, and then continue back down, and then maybe reverse. That's very possible. And if that happens, then it's a tricky day. There's nothing you can do about it. But what I do like to see is I like to see a straight bounce off of 80 and go and then break this rotation. If you break this rotation off of a bounce off 80, then that's beautiful. That's great. But it's very clear that now we see the shift in dynamic. We're seeing a very slight shift in dynamic. You have this massive downtrend day, right? Barely gave any room for anybody to enter, and now the sign of one sign of entry for shorts, and that ended up being a trap. That ended up being a trap. I think the 38% will break simply because we never even gave it an opportunity to test. Because if the 38% really wanted to act as a 38% in the sense that if we really wanted to continue this downtrend, then I feel that any big player would be adding to the 38% over here and not over here. So what ends up happening is that any retail trader looking at the 38% to enter for a trend continuation, they get this. When they see this happen, they start to chase the market because they missed out on their 38%. And then you get a lot of trapped buyers. Sorry, you get a lot of trapped sellers over here. And this is typically when you'll see price break the 38%. Or any level for that matter. If you see price curl before we reach a level, just think of what's happening. Let's just say this is your level and you see price come up, but you don't hit the level. Think of what's happening. If you have a limit sell over here and you see price go like this and you're thinking, fuck me, I just missed my trade. This is the clear sign of a trap. You're going to start entering here. Price will retrace. Then you got to think, shit, what the hell? You might be adding, but now you're even more vulnerable because you have a very bad average price. And as this curls up, anybody who got stuck here is scrambling to buy. Anybody who were patient is scrambling to buy to get out because, their trade didn't end up working out. So that's the theory right now. Could this be it? No. Could this be the new 38 though? Could this be the actual 100%? Maybe I'm not looking at it right. But I think if any average trader is looking at a fib, they're probably doing it from the high of the day to the low. So you don't have much selling that's going on here, if I'm being quite honest. I think you have a lot more buying than you have selling, and all this buying is not able to push the price higher. I do think we come back down here. Yeah. So if you want, you can buy at 78, put a stop below the low or below 67. But I wouldn't want to fade this move right now, I don't think. There's one more rotation that we can look at. So we come back into this box, then I think we shoot higher. I think we could also, I think you could short 97s, but I just don't think that it would be the best short because of all the volume that was built up here. So I think if we come back into this box pretty quickly above 85, then we're definitely going to test the high of this at the very least to try to make new highs. Go long at 67. I think if you want to be a buyer here, you can go long at 67. So you see volumes tapering a little bit. A lot of these buyers up here just gotten stopped out. I want to see this pick up my bid and then just shoot up. Please. Please, 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 please. At the very least, fill me. Okay, okay. Can we reach lows? Make new lows? Perhaps, but I think we don't. I think we reverse off of this low right here. I hope I'm right. I hope I'm not wrong. But if I'm wrong, then I know where I'm wrong, and that's it. I mean, we took a couple of, good trades. Even a few of them were losses, but they were good trades nonetheless. Respected the plan. Was a bit stubborn, but I wasn't stubborn for too long, so that's good. And I think this gets faded. I think based off of the structure right here, based off of the fact that we broke out of this box to try to make highs, I think there's still a willingness to make a higher high from here. I think the willingness is there, but is the ability there? I don't know. I don't know, but I'm taking a bet on it, and I think that's what trading is, right? Trading is you're just taking a gamble, you're taking a bet on what could happen. I think we make lows off of this actually, since that rotation wasn't enough. But I'm not going to scratch this trade. I'm going to hold it. So we had this down bar, a very weak up bar, and now we're back down here. Do we make lows? Some liquidity here at 65, liquidity at 60, liquidity at 50. Be very careful here because they might take 65, 60, and then 50. Well, they just took that. Let's see what happens here once they take that. You can see they took that because you can see that it just got sold into. So because everybody's trapped buying here, this could continue down. Yeah. See, we're going to take that in reverse. That's what I'm wondering. So what I'm wondering if we go back above 64, 65. Orders are coming in heavy. Looks like we're gonna get stopped out here. So this little rotation never even saw the light of day, this little rectangle box. It came straight down. No, there's just way too many, there's just too much volume down here for it to reverse. There's the swing low over here. Now can we come off of this? That'd be crazy if we do. So I pulled my order out over here at the 50% retracement because I think the POC right above it could be a better target. It could be a better magnet. Yeah, I think we break the 75s, reach 86, and maybe that would be a good, better opportunity for a short. So I had originally thought that maybe we could break this downtrend based off of the structure that we got here. But once we weren't able to break that, or once we weren't able to go higher, then that might not have been the case. So I think short is still the play. You can create a new line. That falls in line with 85, 86. I think this could be a good one. And if we break that, then I can just reverse my trade and then go long. It's very difficult when you have tight stops though. So if we make new lows off here, if the market's actually really that weak, then we might not even get this test off 87s. So you can end up taking a chasing trade over here with a stop above 70, 71. And then that way you can re-enter here above. because this rotation is pretty weak in the sense that it doesn't seem like it could actually go higher. This just feels a very weak rotation over here. Pick up 65, come back down. 67, 68, we can put a very tight stop. But no, I think we make lows off of this. I know it kind of seems like I'm all over the place with these orders, but it's really just reading order flow and trying to get the best entry. Because if I thought that we could actually test 87 right now before making a low, then obviously I would have just kept this order. But I just saw something in the order flow that told me that 65 would have been a very good entry for it to make new lows, simply because it was this structure right here. Built a lot of volume. We built a lot of volume down here, and typically when you make a rotation higher, you want to see a pop go up, just because you want to see all this volume unwind, and so we didn't get all of that. There's just really no interest. I want to see us break 50s. I don't want to see us come back to 65. I don't want to see us come back above the 58 volume node here, where this volume node starts, because high chance that we can reach 64 and then go higher from here. But I think getting an entry at 65 for lows is good. Now I'm also watching ES. See, ES hasn't even made. ES is not even at its lows. So one of these two is lagging. One of these two is lagging. One of these two is weaker. You saw that shift in dynamic earlier in the morning. They were following to a T one-on-one, right? But now ES is finding a bit of a support, whereas Nasdaq is trying to break that support. So very interesting to note, actually. Watch these two. If Nasdaq starts making lows and ES is still up here, I want to get out of my trade. Nope, never mind. No, never mind. I can hold this for a bit now. I can hold this. I don't think if we go back above 52, 53, then I want to get out. But I can hold this for another 10, 15 points, hopefully. It's rough. Even going short right now is rough. ES wasn't even at its lows. Nasdaq was. When you saw ES pick up a bid above its lows, and Nasdaq picked up the bid below its lows, it's a trap. It's a trap. There's no other way to explain it. It's just a trap. Now I think we can reach 87, but now I don't even know if 87 is the right short. But that 65 short was very good. It was a very good trade, and it was a very good exit as well. I think maybe I could have exited earlier, but you just don't know, right? Because you don't know whether ES could have continued its sell-off. But once you saw the behavior of ES, you know that Nasdaq was going to follow suit. So I think it's a learning experience. I mean, if anybody who's watching this right now, that short was a great entry and that exit was an even better exit because I could have easily been caught on the other side of that trade. I could have gotten trapped. And so that's the beauty of order flow. That's the beauty of watching your ancillary markets. I don't know if 56 is going to get hit, but I do think this is going to pop. I do think this is going to pop. We're curling above this POC on ES. The POC is right there for Nasdaq. I don't want to chase this market, but I think we're going to pop. I think we're going to pop 20 points perhaps, 20, 25 points. All right, I'm in for one contract because I chased, so I'm not chasing on full size. If I chased on full size, then being offside for 5-10 points would have hurt me a lot more because of my bad entry. So this should pop at least to 73, 74, and then from there we don't know what could happen. Yeah, 72, 73, we get a bit of a rotation. If you get rejected, that's bad. If we hover around it, that's all right. That's not too bad, but I do think we're going to get some resistance around here. Very brief resistance. And then from there, either a leg up or a leg back down. So the further we stay away from this area, the better, because you're going to get a lot of buying because of a lot of these trap buyers. So we had this volume node that built, we pushed away from it, and now we're staying further and further away from it, hoping to build more volume, hoping to push higher. So we want to see a bit of this resistance over here. Even better if we just push right up. I'm wary of this downtrend line. I don't want to see us get rejected off of it. If I'd gotten my entry at 56, 57, I would have been fine. But because I have a bad entry, you see how much it can affect your trade and your decision making. So chasing is not good, but if you're going to chase, at the very least chase with half the size that you're going to go in on. Simply because, logically speaking, let's just say you were in here for, I don't know, 2 contracts, and now price is up here, you didn't get filled. If you get 2 contracts up here, you're offside by 2 contracts when you go down to your entry price, right? And that's not good. So that's not, using risk wisely. Yes, I would have loved to go in full size, but I think the risk is higher if I go in full size at a worse price. So now we see a bit of a struggle. We did test 72, but we got rejected off of 72 right away. I wanted to see us hover around 71, 72 and then push higher. I didn't want to see a quick rejection off 72. But it's not too bad. It's not too bad. We had some volume being built up around here. No volume as we went up, and then as we're coming back down, we see volume. We see volume being built, which is not bad. That's good to see. What you don't want to see is you don't want to see volume. No, let me draw this better. You don't want to see volume, no volume, and then come back down pretty quickly. It's better to see volume, no volume, and if we come back down, we bounce off of this volume to build more volume. You know? So this is nice. This is nice to see. Now we're building volume, and hopefully this volume is enough to push it up higher. So this volume can be enough to push it higher, and then These guys trapped is going to help push it higher as well. These guys trapped as well. These guys as well. And now the beautiful thing about this is everybody who's trapped is going to push it higher. These guys is going to push it higher, right? They got trailing stops. That's going to push it higher. So this is key. 84 is key, and that's around the POC. Actually 80, not 84. Well, around that area, 80, 81. We push higher and higher. That's key. So with all this volume, you really want to see a higher push. You don't want to see it struggle to go higher. It's nice to see a pop up. From all this volume, it's nice to see it just go off like this. And then create a ledge of volume and then go off again. But you want to see this low volume and then ledge, because then it provides a bit better structure. When you have a fat profile like this, yeah, it's nice to see it on the way up, but at some point you do want to see a break and then more volume. Because if you have a fat profile like this, the moment you come down, buyers over here, a lot of buyers, might be enough to push it back down to the bottom of this profile. By buyers, I mean trap buyers who are selling to push it back down. So this is also very nice to see even on a candlestick chart. Higher highs. This is one time framing. This is really nice to see. Unfortunately, I got it on one contract, but like I said, bad entry. It's the best I could do. You don't want to see this come back down below 73. Not necessarily though. I mean, it's not low enough volume, but you do want to see this get picked up at 73, and yeah, this is not good. But I think the target at 87 is good. You also have VWAP over here that can be the target for ES. But one thing I'm noticing is this low volume zone right here. You can get rejected off of this area because it's low volume. So either we shoot up and continue, or we get rejected very quickly off of this area, because you can tell that when there's low volume, there's no interest to transact. There's no liquidity there. So you could be going up searching for liquidity. When you find that there's no liquidity, it can just come right back reverse against you. Not the case in Nasdaq though. Nasdaq, there's volume all across the board. The only place that I would be worried about low volume in Nasdaq would be right here at VWAP, actually. Right there at 1305. But I think if we reach that point, it's important to watch price action, because a lot of the volume over here could be enough to chase liquidity. It's fine. We could retest. We could retest this trend line. Retest this trend line, bounce up higher. Very, very possible we could do that. Building some volume over here. Let's not forget this still is a downtrend day. This is a downtrend day and we keep building volume lower and lower, so we keep bringing value down. You have this massive selling tail, a very, very small buying tail, which means we didn't necessarily push value higher. Got rejected off of 50% actually. Okay, massive, massive bid up. That was massive. That was a sweep. That was a big sweep. There was no liquidity down here. Whether there was no liquidity or maybe there was, but they just didn't want to take that liquidity and then we just swept up. Can we retest? If we retest this, then it's weak. If we retest this, then I have to get out. Big up bar, slightly weak down bar, slightly weaker up bar, and now we're back to a down bar. But this is alright though. This is alright to see because we're creating higher support. If we break this higher support, then obviously this is no longer valid. But right now what I'm seeing is we're creating this ledge. Right? In hindsight, we can look back at this. Right? If price is trading somewhere around here, in hindsight, we can look back at this and we can say, okay, this could have been the low of the day because you made a low, you came back up, and then you created this sort of ledge, and this ledge was enough to push higher. And that's what it's actually doing right now. Right? We're creating a sort of support. If we go below this, no bueno. Yep, 55. ES is at its point of control, right? Could resistance be turning into support? Right? ES is pushing out of its point of control. Nasdaq could follow suit. I like it. I like it, even though we're very, very close to our stop. I like it because very, very, very little interest. Low contracts, you know. The dynamic could shift, right? But right now this is fine. I'm not adding to my trade. I'm not doing anything. I don't want to see this come down and shoot back up. Has to bounce from here if it wants to. Nah. The selling is aggressive right now. We go above 64, then it's great. I could add on to my trade, but right now I don't. It's a bit weak, man. Has to get picked. It's a good thing I left my stop. It's a good thing I brought my stop down below, because I swear if I had gotten stopped out at 55 and I saw this hover and then reverse. This is weak. I'm telling you, this is weak. It's a weak market. I don't know if we can rally right back above it because we're testing lows again. But the dynamic here hasn't changed in the sense that we're at lows on Nasdaq, and yet ES is. So this is fucked up. We're testing these lows. When we had tested this low, when we had made this low right here, ES was here. Now we're lower than this, yet look at this. Look at that. Did I get suckered in? We'll see. But I think that structure is quite telling. Am I nitpicking? I don't know, but it's quite telling that we're creating a very, very clear trend line on ES. Yet there's something wrong here. Right? Especially when these guys have been following each other all day. So I hope there's some legs to this. I hope there's some legs to this move up. I hope these guys got trapped, and I hope these trapped sellers is enough to push this higher. Let's go. Let's go. The trade idea is valid. We know where we're wrong. But this is what I want to see a push higher. I think we can actually break 78. If we test 78, we're going to break it. We're going to go higher at least to 87. Come on. ES breaks 61s. I think Nasdaq has some room to go. Come on. You saw that aggressive move back up. You saw this? It was quite aggressive back up. There are a lot of trapped shorts. They're panicking. You were short here, now you're panicking. If you're short here, if you were long here, you're also panicking in the sense that you're probably going to want to get out. Right? Late buyers here got trapped. They got stuck. They started selling. And now guys who are still in their open trades are probably selling up here as well to get out of their trades. But I think you got a lot more trapped sellers than you have a lot of trapped buyers down here. You have a lot more trapped sellers down here than you have trapped buyers. Let's go. We're on side 11 points now. I don't want to see this come down. I don't. I want to see. I don't want to see these guys get their prices. I don't want to see these guys even scratch their trades. I want price to go so far away from the zone that these guys are trapped and have no choice but to chase the market. I don't like this. Come on, this should have popped already. This should have popped already, but actually thinking about it, all day it's been quite slow. I mean, we have an ATR of 13, maybe not, right? Maybe it shouldn't have popped. Maybe If the ATR was 20, 25, 30, and we're getting this little consolidation, I would have been worried, but this seems pretty normal. But I still want to see this pop. I don't want to see this come back down to 60. I just don't. The more we hover around here, the more we give these guys a chance to get out of their trades. And if they're getting out of their trades over here and we still don't see price come down, you know, sorry, if they're getting out of their trades and we don't see price go up, then it's just not a strong up move. I'll say it again. Here, if the trap buyers over here are getting out of their trades here and they have a chance to get out of their trades here, and them getting out of their trades, right? Trapped sellers. If trapped sellers are buying to get out of their trades, and this buying is not enough to push it higher, once these guys are all out of their trades, who's left to buy? You have no one trapped that's buying. So there's only one way it can go. It can go down. So you want to see it pop. Once you see a pop, it's much better for your trade, because the amount of buying done here was enough for it to pop, and now you have more trapped. You got more trapped sellers, and then that will create a further pop, and it'll further pop. I don't like this consolidation, dude. I mean, I'm 20 points on side, and I'm still saying that I don't like it. ES at VWAP, I don't think we're going to reject off VWAP. You see this little volume node? We actually pushed above this volume node. This low volume node that I was worried on ES, we ended up pushing above it. So you might get this unwinding of this bottom half. This is quite telling, if I'm going to be honest with you guys. What we do here is very significant. It's very important. This consolidation box that we broke out of, the further we get away, the much better. Now, there could be a scenario where we go like this, go back in, and then go up. There could be a scenario where we go straight down, right? A lot of different scenarios that can happen. So you got to monitor this. You got to monitor this box, because we don't have this type of box here. It's much more messier on Nasdaq. What you have on Nasdaq, I don't even know what you have on Nasdaq. You have this on Nasdaq. You have multiple boxes on Nasdaq. So you have much more choppiness that's going to happen on Nasdaq. You see this? This is the midpoint of the last one, and now we're getting rejected off that midpoint. So 63 should be support. It should be support. I want to see 63 be support, and I want to see us go higher. We're still okay on ES though. If you look at ES, we broke, we curl back down. There's a possibility that we can break out of this. But right now, this seems to me a fake out. So we got to pick up from here. We definitely have resistance at 90. I mean, look, the POC is right here. The POC is at 87. There's 100% resistance at 90. Multiple bounces, right? You can create a box, right? It was this little box that I created, but I mean, it can extend. And we got a POC here at 87.50, right? We know that Nasdaq is more of a zone, not just an accurate price. I don't know if you were watching the stream when I got long, but I saw something very, very important on Nasdaq. Something very important on ES that made me go long on Nasdaq. POC bounce and mid box. Mid box is actually more important than the POC. The POC has been shifting all over the place, but mid box is more important because POC has been shifting. So, but this is huge. We got into this box and now we're going back out of it. We didn't even test the midpoint of the ES, by the way, which means these guys at the POC who are trapped did not get a chance to get out of their trades or scratch their trades. So these guys are really, really trapped. Now this is going to fuel it higher. I think maybe at the very least the IB low, I'm hoping, for ES. For Nasdaq, because ES target is the IB low for now, I think we can break this POC on Nasdaq. I think the 90 resistance on Nasdaq might not be that strong. Could probably reach VWAP at this point. I just want to see more volume build up as we exit this zone, this area. We're still in a downtrend. Nothing has changed. I mean, this is still a downtrend. We haven't even made a higher high, like in the sense that we've made some higher lows, but we haven't even broken this structure over here. A lot of trailing stops are probably here. A lot of stops are here. So this could be a good target to break out of. I think there's potential to reach 13,005 in Nasdaq. ES, it's not that clear. I think ES we'd already broken this structure, 6250, 6275. So for ES, we should be rallying from here. I don't want to see this come back down. Yeah, you have sell stops everywhere though. I think very key to watch this area in Nasdaq. This area right here in Nasdaq, it's very, very key. This was significant simply because we tried to make a push over here. This was the area where we tried to make higher highs but got rejected, and we tried a couple times. We had a couple of rotations within this area and we got rejected and we came right back off of it. So when we test this, very key to see price action in this area. There are a lot of today's messy. There are a lot of boxes over here. The rotations are not that clear. ES is a lot cleaner right now. POC shifting higher. It's so messy. Like there's just so much volume around here. There's so much volume around here that it's tricky to expect a retest of value area high right away. Very possible, but it's very tricky. Now we're back below this POC. This is ranging between 63 and 75, the two POCs over here. We're still above the POC on ES. VWAP was the target on ES. Like I said. So you have a lot of people selling at VWAP, right? Hoping for continuation back down. That's the 50% right here. It's perfect. It's a perfect short over here. If you're looking to go short, you want to go short at the 50 for ES. Like, why not? Right? But if we break it, then you get a lot of trapped shorts at the 50%. So, you know, there are so many ways you can play this scenario. But these rotations are good. If you're long, these rotations are pretty good to see. These full body candles, right? They're being met by other full body candles. You see this? This is a negative delta candle, right? But it was higher than these candles over here. There's absorption by buyers. There's more liquidity being provided on the buy side at this point. You have a lot more aggressive selling, but the fact that there's more liquidity being provided is a good sign. So this is technically an up rotation, right? This should be this is an upwards rotation. So depending on how this closes, come on. Come on, go above 83. No, this is not a very good sign right here. This has to get picked up. I don't want this testing the POC again. This has to get picked up. Midpoint needs to act as a support at 63s. There's definitely some bounces coming off of it though. You can tell. But the more we test it, the weaker it gets. You want to see a bounce, and then off, you know? This should have been a really good trade. It's a lot clearer on ES. This should have been a great trade. This little trend line. You don't want to see this break the trend line. We're getting the bounce that we wanted though. Getting the bounce off this trend line. I don't want to see a retest of this trend line. I want to see us actually make higher highs from here. Like, come on. Break this POC. See, we're ranging between those two POCs. We got to break this POC, go higher. If we break the POC and retest 80, again 81, I think we break higher. Yeah, this is a huge trap now for sellers. This is good. Let's not panic. Let's not get excited. Fuck me, what a tricky day. The trade to go long on Nasdaq was too good though. It was too good. And I'll explain what made me go long. I already explained it when I was going long, but I don't know if anybody was watching when I did it. But the trade to go long was just perfect. We break 83, so this is really good for us if we break 83. So you don't want to see rejection off of here. This has to break. One test, two tests, three tests. Now the fourth time we're testing that zone, this is going to break. This is beautiful. Let's go. Let's freaking go. Let's go. Watch ES. ES still hasn't broken out of it though. So if ES starts lagging, Nasdaq can come off really hard. Yeah. We don't want to see this though. We don't want to see this. We want to see panic by sellers. That's it. I like seeing this. I like seeing this. Swift rejection. We didn't even create another rotation right here. We came down maybe 5-6 points and went right back up. Not enough to create a new bar. That's good. You want to see a long bar right here. You want to see a long bullish bar. Very important what happens at 98, 97. Right? Keep in mind. Keep in mind what happens at 98, 97. I expect some resistances around here as well. So there's a lot to go through. There's a lot of resistance to go through. But I think if you're shorting it right now, I think you can get in trouble if you start shorting this right here. There's just so much potential for a pop-up. I don't like seeing this. I don't like seeing tapering of liquidity. Unless we start to see some volume build up here, I don't like seeing this tapering of liquidity. We need to retest this again. ES is lagging. ES is definitely lagging. You have a green bar on Nasdaq. You have a red bar on ES. Maybe ES needs to take care of some of this liquidity before it pushes up, but I don't want Nasdaq to come off because of it. We can't come back below 83. If we do, then we just give an opportunity for people to scratch their trades, and we don't want that. Nasdaq wants to push. ES is bringing it down. The problem is you get through this resistance, you have another resistance at 97. A lot of this choppiness is due to a lot of buyers getting out right now. You have buyers on both ends. You have trap buyers up here that's getting out. You have buyers down here that want to take their profit real quick. You have this zone here. This is a very important zone as well. I thought that this was an important zone, but this is also quite important. This right here and this right here is equally as important. This simply because there's just no volume up of here. This is like no man's land. You go like this, you can get rejected very easily, especially here as well. You come back up here, you can get rejected very easily. For ES though, it seems to be building volume back up. We don't know. But ES has found support here at the top of this box. So that's just good news for us. Okay, we're building volume up here. That's nice. We haven't built volume back on the way down. That's good. You know, that P shape that I keep talking about. But it's not the breakout that I want to see. I want to see a fatter, not a fatter one, but I want to see a longer bar. I want to see a long bar and then a P shape. This is a very short bar and a P shape. Not that strong. Just keep that in mind. However, this was the lowest point of that rotation, technically. This was the lowest point. We came up, we came back down, did not want to transact below here, and now we're building more volume here. So hopefully this is enough to bring us higher. This volume right here, I want to see another pop up. That's what I want to see. That's good. We might get some volume being built up around 97, 98s. This is good. We still didn't get the pop that we wanted. We still didn't get that little pop. Yes, testing another time. What is it, like the fifth time? 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5, maybe even more if you consider these ones. Around 4 to 5 times we're testing 64, 64.75. This has to break eventually. This has to break. When ES breaks this range, Nasdaq's going to shoot up. By has to, I mean we need to see it break. Not necessarily saying that it will. See, rejection off 97s. This midpoint is very, very important. Very, very important. We go above 97, we can test 07s over here, 1307. It needs to break. This needs to break right here on ES. If this breaks on ES, 97s break. But this is just beautiful one time framing going on right now. So I like this. This is a big squeeze though. Are we gonna retest the value area high? I don't know. I don't even know if we're gonna retest this old point of control, and I seriously don't even know if we're gonna retest the high of the day. At the very, very least, maybe a 50% retracement might be on the books. That makes a lot of sense. But I think 13,000 is a big, big, big resistance right now, simply because we don't have any volume around this area. And this is just one massive squeeze. So we're already at 50% on ES. We're almost at 50% on Nasdaq. Let's continue this push higher. Let's continue this one time framing. You don't want to see this break. If we don't get a pop, I just want to take my profits at this point. No, you see, we broke 64s and we came right back down. We took some of the stops, we came right back down. It wasn't enough to actually go higher. Unless this could be a trap for shorts. I don't know. Taking some off the table when I can, and then I'll take the rest off at 10s if we get to that point. This is still alright though. Building a lot of volume up here. This is still not too bad. Clearly we know that this is our line in the sand to get out once we've established that structure. High probability, obviously, that we can go below it and come back above it, but when you go below this type of structure that you've created, then you've already established a weakness and a vulnerability around this area. So what you typically see is that you break this onto the downside, come back up, retest, and then we can go back lower. That's a big possibility that could happen. But the fact is that this line in the sand held, and that's very, very good to see. So we did not get this area right here. Clearly struggling. I don't want to see this come back down below 84. You come back below 84, it's very, very weak. Now we're creating some structure up here. Again, we knew that this was going to be a very heavily tested or heavily resisted area. I don't like it. I think very bearish market. Very, very bearish market. I don't think we're going to get a full reversal off of this. I think this is a low volume area. I don't think we're going to go above it. Something about this just seems off with the way that it's pushing. This should have already broken. You can play this break. This break can be huge. Come on. I think we've tested this line in the sand a few times now. I don't think it holds. My trailing stop would have been down here anyway. Everybody else's trailing stop would have been down here as well. So I think this can just capitulate because you got a lot of these buyers up here that are hoping for the breakout that are not getting their price. They're not getting their breakout. You have a lot of the buyers over here. A lot of the sellers have already been shaken out. Yeah. A lot of the sellers have already been shaken out, and that shakeout is shown by here. All this buying. When you get all this buying up top, you get no more buying down below, which means that you can see this come right off very, very, very easily, like butter. Like absolute butter. I think we're going to break this point of control very easily. Going to go back down at least 60, 65. Good target right here. Good target before we bounce. Anywhere between this 74 and 65 could be any good target to get out. We might get a bounce at 63, retest 75, come back down. Kind of like this, here, here. Or what you can get is you can literally just get a massive capitulation like this. Goes back down, a bit of 75, and then continues. I just wish I got filled on all my contracts. I don't want to see buying up here though, but I think it's normal. You got that volume, no volume. Now you build volume and then you can continue lower. This buying is being absorbed. Look at this. You have 140 contracts that are being absorbed on the ask, 660 contracts sold, right? So you have all this that's being absorbed. You have this aggressive buying that's not able to push any higher. But 5% of 5,500 contracts on this down bar alone, and I think there's more room to go. Shit, I just wish I got in with more size. But I didn't want to chase. You saw that market was curling. I thought that maybe we can get a leg up and then a very slight rotation up. But I didn't want to chase this. And now I don't want to see this go up. I want to see this continue the sell-off. We broke this trend line very, very, very easily on ES. So what we could see actually, is a retest and then a continuation down. Either a retest or a fake out. A fake out in the sense that we come back down and we go straight back up. If we go straight back up, then you want to be buying. If we don't go straight back up, then obviously you want to be short over here. There are many different ways that you can play this. We just broke that trend line on Nasdaq as well, but I'm watching ES's trend line more closely than I'm watching Nasdaq's trend line. I think because ES is a lot cleaner. Nasdaq's been just choppy all over the place. Nasdaq has been following ES all day. More absorption at these levels. $277, 280, 283. I'm just closely following how many more contracts are being absorbed above 78. If it's like 5, 10, 15, then it's not significant. But if you're seeing like 100, 120, 50, 70, then you know that, okay, it's dangerous. Get out of here. Get out of that short if you're short there. 380, 384, 394. That's 20, that's 23 contracts, 30 contracts. That's 40, 50 contracts. More contracts being transacted as you go lower. Right there, it was 100 right there. More as you go lower. As you go lower, there's more, there's more, there's more. Broke the point of control on ES, breaking the point of control on Nasdaq. Might not even get a retest of this trend line on ES. I don't know. The short is still in play. Let's go. I want to see another leg down. I want to see us go down to 60, like in one sweep. That's a good sign. If you go down in one sweep. Fuck me, it's a slow day. You want to see this volume get rejected, right? I said if we're getting 10, 20 contracts above this price, no problem. But now you're getting 180, 120, 30, right? This is almost 300 contracts, right? You want to see 300 contracts just get absorbed and get rejected like it's nothing. This is a very good sign. Got absorbed, didn't continue higher. Now we're coming back down. Buyers are pulling out, right? There's no liquidity over here. Buyers are pulling out their liquidity. So there might not be any willingness to buy around these levels anymore. But is there a willingness to sell? That's another question. Now this is a new rotation being formed. This box right here. Need to see what we do. You want to see this get rejected. You want to see it get rejected and come back down. Go below the midpoint. It's a very good sign. If we go below the midpoint, if we get picked up off the midpoint, retest 82, I'm out. I just don't want to see that. Wowza, what are you wowzaing for, Jeffe? I don't want to see it retest the high of this box. I'd rather take profit at this point. Take a little bit of profit because then we could retest this consolidation very easily if we don't make lows off of here. Son of a gun, dude. It's frustrating because, you know, like your trades are like, they're good trades, but because I have such a tight stop and because I need to take these profits quickly because of the funded accounts and challenges, it's like you find yourself scratching a lot or taking less profit than you should have. So it can get frustrating. Bro. Fucking hell. Well, the original trade was fine. But you don't want to be caught in this area where, like, you're holding on to a short and it can go against you and then retest this O2s, because technically now we are in a mini uptrend within a bigger downtrend, you know? So is this going to be a trap for me? Could be. 75, 74. I don't want to go back below that rotation. I think we should pick up off 79 and then go. But if we don't, then 75 is where I want to be out. I think there's resistance up here though. And I think if you break this resistance, you can easily test 94s, 95s. What do you mean by blue bar? Are you talking about these? Are you talking about these, or are you talking about these here? Number 1 or number 2? Oh, these? No, this is delta. This is aggressive buying, aggressive selling. These are market orders. All of these are market buy orders, and these are market sell orders. So you can think of market buy orders. Market buy is equal to limit sell. And obviously market sell is equal to limit buy. Right? Because this blue are market buy orders hitting into limit sell orders. So these are all market orders. And then the right side is volume, total volume. So right side is total volume. And then this is a percentage of market orders relative to the bar itself. So you see that there's 7% of the total volume that's market buy orders. Here you have 5.8% of the total volume that's market sell orders. Fucking classic rejection off midpoint here. Yeah, I want to see if we make a low. So this is actually very interesting structure right now, what we're having here. This here and then this here, right here. You know, if we break above here, I think the trend is reversed. If we break below here, then obviously the trend continues. Because a break above here could mean we can break above here, and then obviously then it gets a bit tricky, but I think the trend is reversed. I think we continue higher from here simply because of up rotation, weak down rotation, a very weak down rotation, right? And now we're back to an up rotation, breaking this previous rotation. Very weak because look, you got 516 contracts. Resistance rotation at 0.90, but I think we break it. I think we break it. I mean, we've already tested this many times. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got rejected off of it, hit the POC, and now we're back at it. So it's not like this was a strong rejection. Look at the first, this is very important to note. The first time we got here, we rejected so strong that we made a low. The second time we got here, we rejected weak enough to not even go halfway, right? You see what I'm saying? Make sense? Like, just to look at this market structure, right? The first time we tested this zone, it was a strong rejection, strong enough to actually make a new low and to test for new lows. The second time, barely even a halfway. Or I think this is halfway. This is kind of a 50%. So this second time rejection was not enough to go lower.
Now a third time. Do you think the third time is going to be enough to go lower? Right? It could be. It really, really could be enough to go lower. But if you want to think of probabilities and you want to think of what you're expecting to happen and you want to think of just based off of what you're seeing here, what's more likely? You know, what is more likely? VWAP test. Yep, yep, yep. We're testing VWAP for sure. Probability is favorable. Yes, we don't know yet. We really don't know yet, but probability is favorable. I still hold this. I think I'm still holding this regardless. Oh, are you looking at here at 95? Yeah, aggressive selling up here, hitting the bid. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I don't want to chase this. I want to chase this. Come on, come on, come on, go, 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 go. Hit the 65. Hit 76. Hit 76. I think it's a perfect add to the trade. Oh, don't make me chase this dude, please. Fuck you. Fuck it. I had to. I don't think this is going to come back down. I could be totally wrong. Could be totally wrong. You have it on camera. You have it on stream that I chased. Don't tell anybody. I want to see this reverse from here. Come on, reverse. This reverses, we can actually retest 99 easily. Yeah, it's very, very tricky. Even the sell-off today was a bit tricky. Barely any pullbacks, very slow. I got stubborn today and I was actually fading this market and I lost a bit of money, but I made it all back and more down here when I bought the slow. So I'm still positive on the day. And this is going to be, I think this is going to be my last trade. I don't want to trade anymore after this, but this will be my last trade. I'm hoping that we break 13,000 today, right now. I'm hoping that we break 13,000. We go above VWAP. We test value area high. I think this is support, and if we break this, then I am out. I'm done. It looks like we might actually break it, so I don't know right now because we've tested it many, many times. Now we're testing with volume. The first bounce should have been enough to take us higher. It's because of the structure that I saw over here that I like the long, because the first time that we tested this, we made a low. The second time that we tested this, we couldn't make this low. So thinking that this is just a fake, this is just a fake move down. Fake move down to trap traders so he can go higher. You don't want to see volume building down, right? You want to see you want to see low volume here so you can curl back up and go higher. You don't want to see any of this type of stuff. Today is what a fuckery of a day. Very slow. ATR is garbage. ATR of 12.95, that is garbage. Let's go reverse. Reverse from here. The further we get away from this low, the better. Because then it really confirms that we don't want to trade below this area. Like, look at this, 28 contracts, 43 contracts. Like, after building so much volume, and the fact that we're not picking up more volume down on the way down, the further we go away, the much better, because then it just confirms what we think. So I want to see us go back above 81 and then make highs from there. That's obviously what you want to see based off of the structure. You don't want to see us reject 81 and continue lower. So now we play a range between 81 and 74. We're playing this fucking range. And we're taking the other side of the trade because we're still in a downtrend and we're going long in a downtrend. So probability is not with us, and I think maybe that was my first mistake, is that I should have recognized this downtrend and I should have gone short at any chance I get, because going short any chance you get is less frustrating than going long. Because you know that the market is with you. When you go short, you know that the market is with you. When you're going long, you don't know what's with you, what's not with you at this point. And it's lunchtime. It's like 12:35. It's very slow. These are like the worst times. I really need to stop trading after 12. But for some reason I get caught in like one trade after 12 and then I get stuck in this fucking position. Dude, lunchtime trades are so annoying. 95 can be a target, I think. Yeah. Just imagine being in a trade, sweating. But you gotta trust the plan. Like that's it. Like you know where you're wrong. Like this breaking 69's breaking. Like you're totally wrong. And again, you know the reason why I got in the trade. I got in the trade because this resistance the second time around was not enough to make a new low, the same as the first resistance. So you go long here, you get that retest, right? You get a second chance, you go long again, and then this is the basis of your trade. The basis of your trade becomes this, and when the basis of your trade is no longer valid, you get out. So around here, below here, I want to get out. Um, Technically speaking, if I wasn't doing this LeeLoo challenge, my short would be down here. My stop would be down here. But because we're trying to be very selective with our entries and exits, it's the only, that's all I can do. Fucking test that VWAP. Seriously, dude, test it, man. Or ES VWAP is just, it's such a bitch today. It's respecting VWAP so well today, and then some days it doesn't give a shit about VWAP. So it's like, how can you trade these? I guess it's been respecting VWAP, but some days, man, like. But VWAP for me resets every day. So each day the VWAP just resets based on the session VWAP. Technically speaking, if you look at the VWAP on the hourly, Like we're pretty far off from VWAP on the hourly. I don't know if I can show you this. You see? VWAP is this green line on the hourly. 13,238 on Nasdaq. So if you want to look about a mean reversion, I mean, I think this is at this point like shit, you know. Yeah, I'm in MNQ. I have to be in MNQ. When I'm trading these LeeLoo challenges, I have to be in MNQ. Otherwise, I get stopped out like because the tights are so the tights are so the stops are so tight. My goodness. So I'm in MNQ, but the data that you see over here is all NQ. So this is all NQ data. The price ladder is NQ, but when I click over here, it goes into MNQ orders. I want this midpoint to act as a support. Oh, you're going short? Oh, you're long. Okay. Oh, VPOC right here. Okay, I see. 12,975. I hope you make money, dude, because if you make money, I make money. Heavy selling here, though, man. Hold on. ES just broke the structure down here. Not looking good for Nasdaq unless we curl back up, but this is not looking good. Because ES broke the structure, I think Nasdaq can follow. Any reversal from here is going to be very aggressive to the upside, though. Nah, I'm out. You saw that. I was out. Be careful, though, because you have this midpoint as well at 63. This could technically be a trap. You have this midpoint, that could also be it. So this can be a big trap to shake out all these late buyers and then go right back up. So be careful. Structure broke. Yeah, structure broke. I know. But you got to watch out for what happens after the structure breaks. Structure can break, and if there's another level that it can get to and then reverse off that level, then everybody who went short at the structure can get trapped. So unless you see a continuation again, um, you can still technically go long, especially when you have such tight stops. It's a punt. It's a risk I'm willing to take. It's a risk I'm willing to take because sometimes these trades work out and they work out pretty big. Heavy activity over here. And it's the midpoint of this structure right here. This box. So if we reverse from here, you get a lot of trapped sellers. People who are waiting for this breakout to happen and they don't see it happen, they panic to go back out. So that's what I'm kind of hoping to see right now. My stop is tight enough that I don't mind losing on this trade. All right, this is good for us. I just want to see this continue go back up to 82. I don't want to be part of the shakeout. That's why I got right back in, because I felt like I was part of a shakeout. When you test 1, 2, 3, and you come back down, like, you feel like you're just part of the shakeout. Because in order for this price to go higher, you need to shake out a lot of buyers down here. You need to shake out a lot of buyers and you need to trap in more sellers for this price to break out. Late buyer like you, late buyer like me. Well, technically, you and I got in at the same price. If you think about it, I got shaken out. I also got shaken out, but I got right back in because of experience. And you call it stubbornness, but I got right back in because I saw that we were also at the midpoint of this structure. So to me, it made sense to get right back in because, um, like, also because I saw this. You see one test, two test, three test. There's clearly an interest to go higher, and if you're not able to go higher, then what's necessary to happen is a shakeout so that you can go higher. We don't know if it's a nice trade yet, right? I want to see this continue and I want to see this rocket. I could still technically be wrong. I don't want to see this come back down. Like I want to see this continue to 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 get these trapped traders sweating and then to have this bounce off of here and go higher. Now you might be getting people shorting again, right? I don't know. Like lunchtime is very tricky. It's so fucking annoying during lunchtime. We have a lot buying. I just saw like 6 contracts. You want to see the energy shift. You want to see this just like higher rotations. Break out of 76, retest 93. I'll be right back. I just need 2 minutes. It's fucking frustrating, man. Now we're back to building volume over here. Like, you build volume and you go up, that's a beautiful sign. You build volume and you go down, that's not a very good sign. But I like the fact that there's volume here, and then you go up and you build volume there. So like, you know, you're inclined to believe that this can go higher because of the fact that you start to build more volume here. But you are at the POC, so obviously there's going to be a lot of volume being transacted. Oh, I like this. I like this. We said there's two ways this can go break. This could break up, this could break down. We tried to make an attempt to break down. Very low volume, no interest to go further. So if this breaks higher, what you want to see is you want to see it on higher volume with more interest to break higher. Otherwise, you're just stuck in this range, building volume, and you don't know what's going to happen. But this is a lot of volume, in all fairness. This and this is a lot of volume. So if you break away from this volume in any direction, um, it's quite telling. I'm more inclined to believe that we break to the upside, not because I'm biased and because I have a long position, but simply because we quickly reversed on this rotation back up above here. So if you want to consider this like the point of control or something within this bar, we reversed quickly. We went below it and curled right back above it. And so I'm more inclined to believe that there's general interest to transact at a higher price. Also compare the contracts. This is at a very microscopic level, obviously, right? You're nitpicking. And this is not going to be an indication of what's going to happen throughout the next hour, but it's an indication of what could happen in the next minute or two, right? You have like this much contracts down here. You have more contracts up here. Now this rejection I don't like to see. Again, low contracts. I don't want to see volume pickup. I just don't. And I don't like the fact that we rejected off of higher volume here. But if we come back up here, that's great. There's a clear fight between buyers and sellers. Sellers are providing liquidity up here, but buyers are taking it. Buyers want to take it. Down here, there's not much interaction going on right here for now. So let's take let's notice this dynamic. Let's notice these levels. And we don't want to get rejected off of this volume here. We want to push past the volume. Wasn't enough, I guess. It wasn't enough to go higher, unfortunately. get hit, make a new low probably. Just take me out. End my suffering. End my suffering. What are you doing? You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Just take me out, dude. That's so funny. Alright, there you go. Alright, well, that's it for me today. Scratch day, all things considering. Not too bad. I think it's quite a tricky day. Very, very choppy today. Didn't get the prices that we wanted. Didn't get the exits that we wanted. Very stubborn day in terms of trying to buy on a downtrend. But all things considering, I think it ended up being a pretty decent day because it could have been a lot worse. I'd rather lose no money than lose a lot. So, you know, we're good for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll probably be on a bit early. It won't be a long stream. I'll probably do an hour and a half. It's gonna be a short day for me tomorrow. But I hope you guys learned something today. And well, one thing I learned mostly today was don't try to fucking fade a downtrend. But even in doing so, I think the logic was there. I think anytime if you go look back at the videos, you'll notice that every time I bought the low of the day, I had a very, very tight stop. And I probably should have stopped trading after 12. I think from now on, I'm no longer going to be trading after 12. It's something that I used to do before. I used to always stop my days before noon, um, and I did very, very well doing that. But I think I got caught up in one trade that ended up lasting the whole lunchtime, and that's the problem trading these choppy markets, these slow ass markets, is that your trade could end up taking a lot longer to actually materialize, and so you end up getting a lot more frustrated. Um, so we start early, we start at 9:30, and then usually aim to be done by 11:30, maximum 12 o'clock. So, but thanks so much, Hefe, for joining, and I'll see you tomorrow if you're on. Take it easy, buddy.